You guys want to come up? Okay. I'm Jim Evans, Superintendent of Lee County Schools, and I wish Orville Bennett could be here today, but he's actually at National FFA this week, so we wanted to honor him by letting him go, but we didn't want to sacrifice his grant, so Craig and I agreed to come, but luckily we've got some kids that are going to carry the weight. So at this time, I'll just pass it along, and again, that's Craig Hurld, and I'll let these young ladies introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Alex Schott.
I'm Madison Beckley.
And our Lee County schools, we're getting, our FFA chapter is getting honeybees for our school. And probably when you think of beekeeping, honey comes to mind, but there's many other benefits such as pollination and it being a good learning experience overall. There's many things that go into beekeeping, including taking care of the bees, robbing them of their honey, and buying the equipment. Bees are supposed to be relatively low maintenance, so our job would be to make sure that the bees are healthy and they're living in a healthy environment. When we first start out, the bees will need to be inspected about once a week. We will check for pests and diseases and also make sure we're not doing it too often because smoking them can be detrimental to their health. But we have a few FFA students that already have bees of their own, so they'll be able to help out with that. And also we have to harvest the honey from the hives, and when and how often to do this depends on many factors because beekeepers typically harvest frames when they contain at least 80% sealed and capped honey. The most important thing about harvesting is to have patience because there's no specific time period for how often to do it.
So as you can see, a hive is very complex. There are many parts. So the stand is an angle board for the bees to land on. The bottom board can either be solid or screened, and the screened board helps with ventilation of the hive. The deep super is where the bee wax will be held. The queen excluder excludes the queens from the rest of the hive. Honey supers are where the bees store their honey. The inner cover is where the bees get into the hive and exit the hive sometime, usually. And then the outer cover covers the rest of the hive. And in addition to the hive, we also need many other tools, such as, hold on, let me find where I'm at real quick. A bee smoker, which calms the bees when you are extracting the honey and working with them. A bee brush, which removes old bees from frames and equipment and the beekeeper. A hive tool, which is a multi-purpose tool used for maintaining and inspecting the hive. And a bee suit, which protects the beekeeper from bee stings. And lastly, the total cost of this, which we found, was going to be $507.35 for everything. And to make up for the cost, we're going to sell the honey that we make to, like I said, make up for the cost.
We think our FFA should get honeybees because it would be a great learning experience for all of us, especially for students that want to raise their own bees in the future. Bees are also critical to agriculture and the environment, so it would be a good way for us to become more involved in our conserving bees and learning about the fascinating process.
Anybody have any questions? If you remember last year, Mr. Bennett also had a project dealing with which was first, the chicken or the egg, and we built a hen house, and we're still using those chickens and hatching eggs and things like that. So this is an extension of what we do with FFA and Ag, but Mr. Bennett is so innovative, and he's got such good students that work hard for him, and again, we appreciate you two girls doing this presentation. You did a fantastic job. Anybody questions? Okay, thank you all.